For Gonzaga, we have head coach Kelly Graves, student athletes Kayla Standish and Caitlin Redmond. First, coach, if you could, an opening statement on the win this afternoon.
Well, first of all, I do want to congratulate Paul and his team on a great season. I mean, I'm glad we don't have to play them again. We played them 3 times this year. All 3 went down to the last minute. We were fortunate enough to come out on the good end in 2 of them, and especially today. But I think for the fans, that was a great basketball game to watch. Very intense. Neither team could separate much from the other. Big shots. A lot more offensive in the first half on both ends, but better defense in the second half. But we're obviously very excited to move on, and we know what it takes this time of year. You just want to win so you can play that next day. But I'm really proud of our team, especially our seniors. I thought really came to play tonight. And these kind of games and late in the season, they're the ones that you have to rely on, and they did it tonight.
Kayla, can you talk about some of the keys to the win today?
Yeah, they were leading the league in rebounding, so that was one of our main focuses. And then I guess another one was running the ball. That's always been our kind of go-to, and so, yeah, pushing the ball up the floor.
Caitlin, could you talk about what you expect from BYU or San Diego on Monday?
Both teams are very physical. They have big insides. They're very strong, so we're really going to have to come out and just rebound hard and really push the tempo and tire them out.
Questions for coach or student athletes? Jim?
Kelly, have you seen St. Mary's score like that for that stretch?
Well, you know, they're capable of scoring. Over the years, we've had some very up-tempo games against them, but I liked, especially since they had played yesterday, I liked the fact that was the tempo early in the game, and I told them at every timeout, you know, you can't expect them to shoot 65%. After having played 2 days in a row, and I thought late in the game their shots were just a little off, some of them short. They continue to play hard, but that's one of the benefits of getting the bye into the semifinals, and I thought that showed late in the game today.
Response to the last part of the game. No?
You say so. Well, no, obviously we made a little bit more happen. I thought in the first half, Jim, we were just on our heels, and whatever they wanted to do, they did. And if they wanted 3, they made 3. If they didn't make it, they just went and got the rebound and put it in. But you're right. Second half, I thought we did a better job of dictating the possessions a little bit more. We made the subtle switch the change of switching. We switched all the ball screens because what we were doing in the first half didn't work. And I thought that kind of took them off their game a little bit. They started trying to roll their posts then on our littles down to the block. And I think as soon as you start to do that, you get yourself out of rhythm. And I thought that worked to our benefit in the second half.
Anything further?
Kayla, could you talk about your matchup with Rosenthal?
Yeah, she's obviously a lot bigger and stronger, so the first few games I got pushed around a lot, so just trying to stay at the block, I guess, and then I just tried going at her to get her in foul trouble because that's the only way to get her out of the game, so, yep.
Any further questions? Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks. All right.
For St. Mary's, we have head coach Paul Thomas, student athletes Jackie Nard and Alex Carbonell. Paul, if you could, some thoughts on the game today.
Well, congratulate Gonzaga. That was a fun game. I'm sure it was a lot of fun, especially that first half, watching both teams go up and down and make all their shots. But there's no moral victories in our program anymore, and that was a couple years ago, and we're deeply disappointed. Felt we had the game where we needed to for a lot of the times, and then we just made mistakes. And you can't make those mistakes against a team like Gonzaga because they make you pay for them, and they really, really did. They converted a lot of our turnovers into points and got a lot of baskets in the paint. So give them credit, but I'm really, really super happy and proud of the team, and we have more basketball to play this year.
Jackie, can you talk about what you felt some of the keys to the game were today?
Our main keys were just defense and rebounding. We wanted to really box them out and stay on the boards, which I'm not sure how we did with that, but definitely could have did better, but showed it in the game.
Alex, can you talk a little bit about the matchup with Gonzaga? You played 3 times. All games came down to the wire. Why were all 3 games so close? And talk about the matchup a little bit.
I think that they're so close because both teams have way too much pride to ever lose to one another. And I think we match up with them really well, and we play them really well. Everybody steps up, and it's definitely the game that's circled on every schedule at the beginning of the year that you look forward to and that you pride yourselves on and you work towards. So I think that's the biggest reason why our matchups are the way they are and how they've been this year. I can't think of any other game that we've been more fired up for than playing against a team that has Gonzaga across their uniform.
Questions for Paul or the student athletes? Steve?
Paul, last year, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but you said there was progress made in a 26-point loss for your program. A year later, you're saying there's no moral victories. How much is that you've gotten better, and how much is it that maybe Gonzaga doesn't have Vandersloot?
Yeah, a little of both. I think a lot of it has to do with the 2 people sitting on my left here, and then Rosenthal, which she was a freshman today. Her fouling out was huge. We had to put together a package out there of personnel that just didn't suit us. So that was huge. But I think that's a big key. I think our personnel has improved, and you can't, as we talked about yesterday, you can't lose a 2,000-point score and 1,000 assist person and expect to be the same. But I haven't seen these yet. But when you have Palmer 14 points, Carr 11 points, 7 assists, and 2 turnovers, that's pretty darn good. They're a very good team. They're a very good team. So I'm super proud of the team. Alex coming back, and I thought she did a really, really good job. I knew she got fatigued a little bit. She probably played a little bit too much in the first half, but second guess, everybody second guesses. So I'll second guess myself till we practice, which is on Tuesday. So it was a fun game. It was fun to coach that game. And I think our kids responded very, very well after just a physical game yesterday, and came out and showed a ton of grit.
Ben?
And did you get a little fatigued at the end? You haven't played for a while.
My knee feels great. No, it wasn't my ankle. My ankle feels, it's okay. My ankle honestly feels wonderful. Like if we had to play right now, I'd be ready to go. Fatigue, it's really, I think the one part that I got fatigued was maybe in the first half when we had that little push. But after a while, once you get your legs under you and you start moving, that goes away and you don't necessarily get tired and you focus on other things. So, but as far as my health, I feel fine. And, it felt really good to run up and down today and play a game of basketball.
Ben?
Carly, with 4 fouls pretty early. Was that just out of
No,
necessity?
Yes, without a doubt. We couldn't withstand, and if you have been around and watching, Gonzaga can rack up points very, very fast, and I just did not want to take a chance on them just beating us inside in the paint over and over again. And so, you know what? It's you trust who's on the bench, and Haley and Dre and those kids did a very good job. And at one point out there, we had really 4 guards and Danielle out there, and actually they did a pretty decent job. You know what? We don't play a ton of zone, and I think our zone startled them a little bit, and I was very pleased with how our kids, because we don't practice zone a lot.
Steve?
Paul, I know you're not going to be in the selection room of a week or so from now. You had a 53 RPI coming in. You win one game, a 5-point loss to a team that's in the top 25. Do you think you have a shot to
No.
be on the field? No.
No, I mean, we'll I'll watch it. No, I think for us to have had numerous conversations with other coaches that have been on the mock selection, and we took a couple bad losses. That it's going to be interesting to see what happens if BYU and San Diego, they're kind of on that. San Diego's RPI is not as good, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Here's an issue. Same thing on the men's side. If anybody watches women's basketball here regularly, the ACC had really probably messed the West Coast Conference up because everybody got upset in the ACC. Duke, Maryland, and North Carolina, I think, all lost. So that hurts conferences like us, like we all know.
Anything further? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.